Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode. I'm going to turn their sound up now. They were being a little noisy and bad, and I know my video is not working right now. I've got to do a thing to fix that. So that's about it.
Oh, mind you.
You may put up with
right.
you may put up with me with no video. There's just something going on between my video communication and my thing, so I'll just be black for the day. So
Eric, you can't just be black. It doesn't work like that.
Is it because he's black?
But the video, it's just, yes. So yeah, I went south and got so tan that
No, don't do it.
No. And by the way, it just has to do with the way during the intro, XSplit restart, and I just don't want to restart the whole stream. I don't think to get my video working. So you're going to have to put up with Pappy Snowden and Caleb on video today. So I'm just.
I mean, you say that in such a nonchalant way, by the way, Eric, because we've got fucking Pappy Snowden live.
We do.
Fuck's sake.
We do, and by the way, it is my 66th month anniversary as Imperium News. Subscriber. So I'll throw that up there. And 66 months, I have to say, with their first pick in the NHL draft, the Pittsburgh Penguins pick Suissa 6, Mario Lemieux. So I have to do that on the 66th.
So. And half the Danish team is into the next part of the dressage at the Olympics. So enjoy, Mike Flood.
Did you say? I didn't hear that. Did somebody get a massage?
Dressage.
Dressage. It's a horsey event.
Horse dancing.
Horse dancing. Yeah, the equinox event or something. Whatever the fuck.
Dude, that stuff is hardcore. Because
I hear somebody has an affinity for horses.
An affinity.
Right.
Horsepower.
As long as it's not, horse porn, we're good. No.
I mean, Donald, where do you think Mike is right now?
Yeah.
He's watching dressage.
I don't think we can actually.
Oh wait, it's one. He's awake.
This story because we're gonna get banned from Twitch immediately if we do.
If we do what?
We haven't said.
Yeah, we can't cover the story properly.
So, guys, just know that it involves Mike Flood, horses, and us not being able to tell you about it because we would get banned. Peace.
Oh, in a school.
That is all that we can say.
We didn't go over this in pre-show. It's not fair to tease me like this with some cool.
We will tell you after.
We'll tell you after.
All right.
It's not worth it.
It's just really not fair.
Real quick, since I'm on Alaska time and I have no idea what time it is anywhere in the world other than me. When is the announcement stuff? Is it during the show?
Hour and a half.
Is it after the show?
Wait, hour and a half?
Oh, so we're gonna
2.5. What, 2:20?
19:30.
2:20, 2:21, whatever it takes.
19:30 Eve.
So is that after our show then, or?
Yes.
Eric,
are we gonna do a
mom reference?
What?
Are we gonna do a reaction show, or?
That's
we can.
Question,
it's literally.
I'm up for it.
Seriously, Eric, nice Mr. Mom reference.
I knew somebody would get the Mr. Mom reference. I am a big Michael Keaton fan because I kind of grew up next to his brother. So.
Also, Eric, are you imitating me, or did your camera give up again?
No, I explained that earlier. It's just
imitating you like Star-Lord imitating Thor.
Something with this batch of Windows has some order of events thing that's just making things go bad. So, not working for me.
His camera gave out, it did.
I may be able to fix it here in a little bit, but it'll take a little bit. But we'll be talking. So
real Pappy Snowden, how wrong was the monkey, and how many lies did it spout?
I don't know whether he can speak, but I think he can send his messages and maybe Sorcerer Seal can interpret it. I don't know.
I mean, I'm being told that I am way quieter than you guys because I'm leaning back this far for this effect. So
let me try and turn you up.
how about we're going to go for the reveal and I get a bit close?
There you go.
Wait, you're Pappy Snowden?
Yes,
Yeah, he's Pappy Snowden.
Revealed.
So the bad guys, they can try and figure out who he is. Wouldn't help. All right, so I'm gonna do a little wacky stuff on the thing here, trying to get my video working. So you guys, chat.
We're trying to get the leaks.
Listen, if you have leaks, just use a little duct tape and then put some sealing tape around it.
I'm fine with
There we go.
My
We
diaper
he's fixed it.
is working perfectly, and I got one of those smart ones that can actually warn me when they're full.
I don't know whether that's too much information or not. Like, feels like it.
Well, I've told them not to do anything while I'm on vacation, so they should not be doing anything until I'm gone. Because we know they respect my time.
There we go, folks. And I'm just impressed to have my closet door closed behind me.
Did you fix the squeaky?
Basically, I like to filter my webcam through another product before it hits into XSplit, but some order of whatever happened, XSplit took over control of the camera, so I just had to use a different interface. That is all.
Do we want to talk about the upcoming changes, or do we want to talk about the leaks, or do we want to talk about the announcement?
Minutes.
Well,
Dawn, aren't they the same thing?
No.
I'd love to hear us break down like the initial kind of first paragraph of it, because that is just
Arenda says we have to
that
wait
is
7 minutes to annoy me.
It's just god awful. It's just the worst way of being able to open up this conversation, or to sort of like kind of summarize. Well, I think it's probably the perfect way of actually describing accurately, like CCP's sort of summation of how they've been hearing and responding to the community. It's only the past few weeks that they've actually sort of realized, oh, there might be an issue with what we've been doing so far.
Time out. You're saying that CCP has finally figured out there might be something wrong based on the user experience being expressed to them by the actual paying customer?
I think maybe they may have noticed that graphs are trending fucking downwards like a fucking
like a ski slope.
like a
1920 stock market graph. Is that what you're saying? All right.
Yeah.
What, like the British economy after World War II?
I mean,
look, we've still got 6 minutes before we can talk about this stuff, and I've got an important question for Eric to fill those 6 minutes with.
I've got stuff.
Shoot.
How do you get so hyped about a dude who only wins 2 Stanley Cups in 13 years?
He's not the only person on the team. Thank you.
Yeah, he did he saved the team.
Please.
I have never.
They were still stuck in Pittsburgh.
He actually likes staying here.
I know that's why he bought into it.
I like him for a number of reasons. Some of them personal experience that my friends have had with him, as well, which are all for a super powerful, hockey guy. He's very down to earth, very polite to other people. So I have a lot of respect for him in that light in particular. That's a big deal with me. Yeah, I think he's a great player. And really, if you grew up with hockey in Pittsburgh, and we call them the flightless birdies, and they sucked and they just couldn't do anything. And then he came to the town and he really energized hockey in the town and made it what it is in the town. So yeah, that's why I like him.
That's fair.
Yeah, and it's not only the success and the things that he's done in the city. It is how he reacted to 3 people that I know personally that had direct interaction with him, and it was just class out the wazoo. I mean,
Can I talk about Alaska?
Everything I've heard about Mario, he is not the kind of guy who would say, as Derek Jeter did to my sister at a nightclub once, "Do you know who I am?"
Sorry.
Wow, do you know who I am?
Seriously,
I'm going
because she asked him to stop sitting on her jacket so she could leave.
So that being said, I am I'll quickly relay the two of the 3 incidences that I know directly. The people that were there were part of the conversation in there, right? So, a very good dear friend of mine, his aunt was getting treated for cancer and just clearly didn't have the money, and they were having a fundraiser. And this guy's kids played hockey at the same place that Lemieux and a lot of the other people did hockey training for other folks. And he walked up to Lemieux and he said, "Hey, will you sign these Sports Illustrateds for me? So we're going to auction them, right, for this thing." He goes, "Nope, not going to sign them." He goes, "When's the auction?" Told him the auction day. He goes, "Meet me here next week." Mario took him to his car, the trunk, opened the trunk. Okay. There were a couple hockey sticks that he has autographed. There's only so many autographed Mario and Lou hockey sticks in the world. There's like 100 or 200. It's not very many. He gave him a whole bunch of things signed by him and other Penguins to add into his auction. So that's number one. The guy had no reason to do this. They didn't know each other, right? And the other one was he's a member of Oakmont Country Club. He might have had, I don't want to say the name of the player because I'm not 100% confident that it is, but it might start with a B, and he might have been a goaltender. They were at the bar, and the one had ordered soup, and the soup was delivered, and the other person turned around, stuck their elbow in the soup, and then started to berate the bartender that placed it there. And Mario just pulled him close because my buddy was the bartender. Pulled him close and said, "You apologize to him. You are embarrassing me. This was your fault, not his." I don't know.
Nice.
I mean, how do you not like the guy, right?
Very nice.
He's a big deal. But those are 2 situations that I am so close with the individuals that had those experiences, like he grew up with them, right? So I know it pretty well. But yeah, it was cool.
I believe
I not
chat
like
are
him.
doing a bit of a rant, and they want us to be like CCP and listen to them and talk about Eve.
I think
We are being like CCP.
I think
Yeah, we're ignoring them.
One person is clearly paying attention to what you people want, and the rest of us are just doing our own thing.
Did I do the 7 minutes for you, Arendis?
Yeah.
Pretty close, close enough, I think.
All right.
if we
Can I
need to
talk
be
about
like
Alaska?
CCP,
CCP,
then-
Salt's talking.
No.
Chill.
if we need to be like CCP, then we need to talk about all the things that we clearly got totally right in the past year. Okay?
Also,
Okay.
we're going to redouble our efforts with regard to the new viewer experience.
Oh yeah.
Hold it. We care
So,
about the
new viewers?
experience
Hold
our
on.
viewers.
Well, if we're being like CCP, Eric,
We have a
Hey,
new
we
viewer.
at least have to say that.
I have
Alright, this is the new viewer experience. Ready?
okay.
Welcome to Push to Talk. Here's your tutorial. Now get fucked.
Can we talk about Alaska real quick? I
Sure.
saw mooses.
Mooses. Did you kill them?
A whole bunch of meese.
I saw a bunch of Mises.
Did you have any
Very
Moose
cute.
Tracks ice cream?
I did not, because it's cold. Why would I want ice cream?
Isn't
Why
it
wouldn't you want
summer?
ice cream?
Isn't it
You
summer?
just go someplace.
Yeah.
You just go inside where it's no longer cold.
Yeah.
So the average temp is about 60 something. Now we did
Yeah,
have a
but you
day
said
that
it was
got
cold.
so. Anyways, we did have a day where it got hot enough that like I was sweating and took my jacket off and had to wait till later the afternoon to cool down.
You're in
But,
Alaska. How is 60 degrees cold enough for you to have a jacket?
No, that's jacket weather. Cold is like 50 or under, but 50 to 60 is jacket weather,
How
which
is-
is fine.
What?
60 degrees
Okay.
playing
Right.
golf. I'm in a polo shirt and shorts.
Seriously.
Yeah, no, I run warm-blooded. I don't like, or cold-blooded. I don't like the cold. But
What the
it's
hell are you
been
doing in Alaska?
Damn
because
it.
it's beautiful here. I've sent pictures. So you guys have seen the pictures of all the bears, the moose. We've seen bald eagles. We saw whales, killer whales, porpoises, seals, tons of seals, otters.
Yeah,
But,
I
like,
think I think
have
the
to-
African savannah is beautiful with all the wildlife and stuff, but it doesn't mean I live in it.
I have to
Yeah, I'm
stop
not
you
living
there,
here either.
because they aren't killer whales.
I
They are
know they're
whale
orcas.
killers.
That's true. They're the orcas, which felt very normal. I felt very at home getting to see orcas up close.
You know who the craziest people in
Well, you
Alaska I
deal
think
with-
are?
Okay.
You deal with goons a lot, so that makes sense.
Also,
It made me
what
feel
do you-
normal.
What do you
We've
mean
hit
that's not
21
weather
minutes.
for ice cream? Like, come on. You
Yes, I had. Okay, you got to remember, you're in Alaska. Everything is 6 times more expensive than normal. So I've had ice cream once, but everything here, something that would be normally $2 where I'm at, is like $7 here. So my parents bought 3 bags of groceries and 4 bags, and it was $167.
Well, it depends on what's in those bags.
It was like cereal, potato chips, some fried chicken,
Yeah,
um,
I'm
cookies.
wondering why that price tag is ridiculous.
well, it's just that, something like that would have been like $50 at home, and it's $160 here. So it's just been interesting learning. Apparently, all restaurants are closed on Wednesday and Thursday. Nobody needs to eat on those days.
Everything's closed Wednesday, Thursday. You know
Yeah.
why?
I think
Because
Right.
I think that's an
Wednesday.
incentive for you guys to actually like make something yourselves rather than just constantly ordering takeout.
No, the problem is they don't have enough workers up here because of last year, and so a lot of places just don't have enough people to work those days. So they take those 2 days off so they can work the weekend.
I thought it was just because those were the filming days for Bering Sea Gold. By the way, if you've ever watched
No,
that,
but-
those are the true crazy people in Alaska.
Oh,
Just saying.
yeah. So we took a ferry tour
I'm
out
in
to one of the
Alaska, bush
glaciers.
people.
So we
Yes.
took a catamaran tour over to the glaciers in Kenai Ford, and we have to go across like open water in 2 different places, and the waves were taller than our boat, and our boat was like, or at least taller than the railing, and the boat is like 30 feet tall, so the railing's like 10 plus feet, and the waves were so huge, and we're sitting there like, we're gonna die, like, and this is calm sea compared to what the guys on Deadliest Catch deal with. I don't know how they do it. It was so it was fun, but it was nerve-wracking. Everyone should come visit Alaska at least once because it's gorgeous here.
And you can pay $8
We're at
million.
25 minutes.
You can pay more for a hamburger in Alaska than you do in Iceland.
Yeah, all of our burgers have ranged between $16 to $22 depending upon what you had on it.
You would think moose burgers would be kind of cheap there because
They don't have moose burgers
Moose
that I
burgers.
found. They have
Elk burgers.
reindeer burgers.
they should have
Because they
elk
raise
burgers.
Yeah,
reindeer.
I mean, that's really the way they should go. They shouldn't call
I've had reindeer.
they
I've
should
reindeer
call them
sausages.
Eric,
reindeer
it's called
burgers.
Eric. It's not moose. It's called them. Plural is
Mises.
meese.
Mises.
Meat.
Get it right. I mean, honestly.
Well, it's really elk that you want to go for in Alaska too, man.
Well,
Well,
we
depending on
had
who you're talking
reindeer.
to, it's the same. thing.
I believe that the plural of elk is ilk because I've heard
That is believable. Yes.
It is
elk.
elks.
And yes.
Them and their ilk.
Elkses.
You know.
Elkses.
And
A
I-
lot of
also-
elkses.
But elk burgers is also the wrong word. It's carol burgers.
So
Mm.
you all should visit at least once. It's gorgeous. I wouldn't want to stay here forever, but what did you know? Reindeer and caribou are
Even
the
better,
exact same
Caleb.
thing.
Even better.
Have you seen?
I did.
I think.
Have you
I
seen
did learn
moose
a
and
little bit
squirrel?
of trivia. Yes, I haven't seen moose and squirrel. Now, I did learn a very interesting fact. So, caribou, both the male and females have antlers, but at different times of the year. Males have their antlers in summer for rutting season, and females get their antlers in winter to protect their babies. So, all of Santa's reindeer, because reindeer and caribou are the same thing, all of the reindeers for Santa are female. because they all have antlers.
Rudolph's a girl.
Yep, Donner and Vixen. Vixen is a sled.
Absolutely, here she.
Just
Yeah.
You know, this is a family show, so you know, just
Yeah,
so you know,
and we have it right down there below. See, right down there, right down there. This is a family show.
This is children education hour. Come on.
Fine. Vixen was a reindeer of the evening. Better?
There you
There
go.
you go. Yeah, but yeah, I didn't realize that they had different cycles on their antlers, so it was very interesting to learn that. And Denali, you all got to see the pictures I sent. Only about 30% of the park guests get to see Denali at all, and about 5% get to see it as clear as we did. So we were very excited. And some of you got to hear it. It was a very harrowing drive to Denali. Through the park is a 92-mile long road that's gravel with no guardrails, and it's 1.5 lane wide. And for about 40 miles of it, it is across a mountain with about a 500-foot or more drop straight down with no guardrails.
Yeah,
And it's
Eric
1.5
would,
lane.
Eric would not be driving that. There's
You
no way.
wouldn't-
That would
you
be
don't- you
off
can't
my
drive it.
itinerary.
You can't drive it.
What do you-
Only the park buses can. So they
Doesn't
don't
matter.
allow public. They don't allow public cars in the park
No,
to
negative.
preserve the beauty. But yeah, we
That
didn't
would be-
know that was part of the drive.
It would be. My
Terrifying.
children. I am very sorry, but the buses are all broke down today. We can't go. There's
So,
just no.
can you post that in stream chat? 'Cause that is fucking glorious.
I don't think I'm allowed to post like. Let's see.
I did have reindeer sausage. So
See?
if you guys need a
What is
new
that?
meat
The
to
mental
try-
gymnastics? Is that what we want to
Yeah.
post?
Yeah,
How do we post that? I don't know.
I posted it.
Okay.
I guess Eve talk time.
Oh, Eve
You know,
talk
we're
time. Okay.
7 minutes over.
Warning.
I was fine with that, and then Dawn went on this weirdo rant about Alaska.
Well, I
being
got-
cold.
If I don't talk about myself at least for 5 minutes, I won't get to talk at all.
Well, sometimes you got to choose you or Eve.
Well, no, it's Eve time now. You got extra
It was
non
Eve time then too.
We need
It's
we
Eve
need
time now.
we need we
Today.
need a little jingle song to like Howdy Doody time to it's Eve time for the show for the announcement of the segment change into the discussion. Don, talk
Serious.
about
Well-
okay.
Well, we gotta decide. Where do we want to start? Do we want to start with the leaks? Do we want to start with the CCP announcement?
What announcement?
Well, I mean the roadmap thing. Their outlines.
It's not even a roadmap. Okay, outline. I'm gonna let that pass.
I'm gonna tell you
okay?
the same thing I told Dirk. That's a roadmap. The way a zoomed out Google Earth is a roadmap.
It's better than before.
Halo.
And
What
it-
were my words?
Didn't they promise a
What-
roadmap at like the last real Eve Vegas?
Yep.
We'll have it out in 6 weeks.
Now,
2021
Taylor-
halfway over. Oh yeah, here's kind of like a couple bullet points.
I think
Caleb,
it was a
you-
great dev blog. I actually enjoyed reading it. It
I did
was vague
too.
posting like crazy, but at least there were a few morsels and there were a few things that's actually very important, at least to me. The fact that they had promised Tech 2 changes and now they are apparently not.
Look,
They
it
never
wasn't a
promised
bad.
it to.
It wasn't a bad dev blog. It just wasn't a roadmap.
No, that would
Yeah,
be
They
a
definitely
misnomer.
said that Tech 2 changes were coming.
Yeah, they're still
Industry-
coming. What are you
industry
talking about?
changes
No,
were
they
coming.
I
said in
do-
that
Yeah, they're
book
coming.
they're not doing them anymore.
It
Yeah,
was
exactly.
a bad dev blog because they
Oh,
were
really?
just way too self-congratulatory on it.
Yeah, you know what?
It's
Sometimes
bad
you gotta
dev
get.
blog, no shit.
Sometimes you
Sherlock.
gotta
Okay,
like,
yeah, but
look
stop.
at the
That just
eel.
means it was a CCP dev blog.
Listen. Sometimes you gotta take out the eel to get it to come out of the hole.
Oh, that's okay.
Anyways,
Yeah, I think I zoned
Hold on,
you.
look at I
It
zone.
was a please stop unsubscribing, guys, Matt.
so they announced or changes are coming, and Caleb, they listened to us. They're getting more bonuses on ships for gas and or and
the gas
they're adding
compression, 'cause, you know,
compression.
Nobody with half a brain understands what happens to gas when you compress it.
And
And
do
we,
like
still,
a-
But I-
we haven't been told whether or not they're going to put the gas harvesters on other platforms than the Venture.
Well, they said they're adding more gas bonuses to more holes. So, yes,
Okay?
we might get a
I
T2
don't
Noctis.
remember
You know
reading
what?
that.
You know what? They're gonna put a gas bonus on the Rorqual.
20 fucking months and we're still talking about goddamn mining. Like,
Listen, Soft, you back off. This is my
no,
realm.
no.
Okay.
Are we really wondering why people think that Eve has become boring and they no longer log in, when the only thing that might be exciting to talk about is mining changes?
To be fair, also, mining is boring as fuck.
I like mining.
You need to add, in my opinion.
No, mining
in general,
alone.
it's boring as fuck. Like if you're exactly. Like I'm talking about mining. I'm not talking about socializing with your friends while doing.
Is
an
there any
activity
other
like
way to
mining.
mine? I mean, does anybody
Yeah, but
mine differently?
Is there any PVE in Eve that doesn't fit that description?
Well, that
Mm.
is the problem with Eve in general.
I would say
Is the game is
some of
shit.
them-
The only reason why you do it is because it's an activity with people you enjoy being around.
Right,
and
but
doing.
that's the theory behind all MMOs anyway.
I would say
That's
There's a-
why
there's a
you're playing
difference
a
there, right?
multiplayer game
Yeah, horrendous,
instead of
though.
going
There's
and playing a single player game.
There's a difference in this, though, right? Mining is set up to be a solo thing you just kind of do as a group by coincidence.
Why?
Whereas,
Why do you say that's the way it's set up?
because you don't
Because
have
you
to
can?
have an organized.
You don't have to have a group to go do missions either.
No, you don't. But that's not what I was going to get at, because emissions are part of the fucking problem. I was going to get at stuff like incursions and invasions, where it forces a community to grow around it, which at least
Yeah.
promotes the social
Right.
aspect.
It
I'm gonna
forces
give you an example here.
it forces you to do stuff together, which means
Yeah.
that a lot of people wind up closed off from that content.
Well, there
Go
is
ahead.
that too,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Try and get into high sec incursions. You've got to already have an ass load of money
Yeah,
because you
but
need
I'm
a
not
blinged out ship.
That's not because of how it's set up, though. Well, it's how
Yes, it
incursions are
is
set up.
because
No, you're missing my point around it.
no, because
That
that's an
could be avoided
inevitable.
while still having
That's
kind
an
of setup.
inevitable result of the structure of the mechanics.
Not
Because
necessarily.
that's the way
Not if you
people
force that
work.
around mining.
That's the way.
You could let people go in with ventures with mining. The thing is, incursions and invasions are such a high-level content set that you have to have a blingy ship.
They're not.
They are to a degree.
No, they're not. You can be a brain dead moron and get through it fine as long
I
as your
don't
shit is
mean it
blinging
in
up
that
and you know how
way,
to
for
follow
fuck's
orders.
sake, horrendous. Come on. You know I don't mean
I
it
mean,
in
from
that
an
way. You
investment
mean I mean
standpoint,
it-
not
Yes.
Right, but
Yeah, I'm gonna order
you're
some
not
pizza.
gonna. But you can't make everything something that you have to have this massive investment in already.
And
Because
I
if
just
you
said
do
you
that,
don't have
then
to do
nobody
that.
gets there.
And I just said that's not tied to the idea of pushing a social group around an activity. You
But
can
it
do
will
both.
be. Because
Not
once you tie
necessarily.
it, once you tie it to a social group, then the social group is going to want the best members, the most productive members. You can do an incursion with more people and less blinged out shit, but the incursion groups limit how many people because they want to maximize payments,
Yes.
and they'll do the
because
same
there's
thing
only
with
so
mining.
many incursions. So you have groups fighting over them. If you actually pushed a social concept around mining, but spread it out to not just 5 incursions across the game, you could actually have smaller, less focused groups emerge that are still social, but running lower end kit.
So kind of social, demented and sad, but social.
Yeah.
I can give you an example
Don't I get
Often.
points for that, horrendous?
of a PvE
I mean,
activity that
The whole
that
game is
can
demented and
highlight-
sad at this point, so I don't know.
that can highlight one of the big issues, though, and that's the NPC tiers and how they have been changed. Because at the beginning, you could run the NPC CTOs in subcaps just fine.
Yeah.
And
It was
you
the
could
best way to do it.
And it was the best way to do it, and it was what CCP said was their goal, that it's going to be a PvE. It's going to be PvE stuff for bigger groups, right? And then CCP didn't like the way we were running it, so they changed
No,
it
they didn't.
over
They didn't
and
like.
over again.
They didn't like the reaction that the sort of the Reddit community or just like sort of the vocal, sort of Eve community kind of had from it to it. Like, because if their stated goals was, as you say, it was, and it met those stated goals, and you ran it, then they wouldn't have had any issue. What was an issue was, it was pushed to essentially to Reddit and that kind of thing, and people reacted to it, going, "This is fucking broken. You shouldn't be able to do this, etc., etc." People doing this are running it with absolutely practically no investment whatsoever, and they're getting like the most they're getting the ability to build the most expensive and most powerful weapons in the entire game from it, kind of thing. And that is when CCP was like, "Oh, we need to change this."
It made them almost impossible to run unless you have Titans. Isn't that what they do them in now, is Titans?
Yeah, but I don't think it's because they're impossible to run. It's just because, you can do it.
And
you can use 5 Titans and there you go.
I mean,
you don't need a large group.
It ends up the optimal system, right? Because you cause less of an escalation.
Right.
Well, you
got less people there.
Yeah, you also keep the information to fewer and fewer people, which means it's less likely that the knowledge about where it is and when it's being run is going to be leaked out to people.
So fewer competitors can
Cable.
get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like you need anyone else to tell you where they're at. You just use Zkill. It's very easy.
Not always. Not always. If you get on it first and find it, you can keep it quiet for a good long while.
Yep.
Hey, some folks are confused in the audience about the big announcement.
It's but the big announcement is basically that Braves sort of
Happy's big announcement or is CCP's big announcement?
I'm not sure. Yeah, which one is it?
Pappy's big
I know
announcement.
that one of the big announcements that they're doing is that Braves SRP is going from 2 months to 8 weeks.
Oh, there you go.
No, that was people.
But it's still just going to be in doubloons, right? So basically, 2 cents on the dollar.
It wouldn't surprise me to find out that Braves moving to doubloons.
Yeah.
Hey, at least they would be paid then, right?
I think the announcement's going to be a giant
added.
letdown.
Well, and doubloons, value added and doubloons. At least they can get some money back.
The announcement's going to be a giant letdown. It's not going to be anything interesting.
I don't know. It might be something interesting. I will entertain the possibility that they will entertain us by trying to put their shit.
I'm not.
So
that all of Pappy is going to get folded into Frat as one big org, and Norris is going to take over.
I have my faith in Norris. I have my faith in Norris and actually sort of making this war actually entertaining.
I mean, we had this conversation pre-show, right? Norris seems to be the one person among them all that is willing to entertain the idea of a fight in 1DQ. And seems to actually have some balls to want to do it if the leaks.
Well, I mean, if what was said is correct and that they're bringing down their super fleet, then essentially, I kind of feel like what was said in the Pappy leadership was basically, was Norris basically saying you guys are fucking terrible at this, and they turned around basically saying, well, if you know fucking better, then come down here and fucking show us how to do it.
But seriously, guys, I'm going to do the DBRB just for a second. Isn't that like Russia supporting American activity in Afghanistan?
I mean,
no.
I don't know.
Not really. we
Like,
kind of covered this.
please go ahead and kill yourself.
This is a
But
this
that's
is a
the
golf
thing.
tee, and
The
it's
frat
very
actually
sharp.
thing-
And after Caleb said that, I want to jab it in my eye.
Please don't. We'll get taken down.
Caleb.
No, but
for
seriously,
frat-
Oh, he's not a-
No, and you know what? None of you
That
say,
everyone
Eric,
attacks
why do you have
and-
golf tees on your desk? So
No, but seriously, Fraternity and Norris actually supporting that everyone should just pile in with all their supers and titans and fight in 1DQ is really like supporting a campaign in Afghanistan. It's like, you're not gonna win. You're just gonna bleed a lot.
Which is exactly why it works for him.
Yeah, exactly. And
well,
if
that's
he
the
gets
more
his
interesting
way,
part, right?
Yeah, he's gonna control when Winterco Titans come in and when they don't, like and where they come in as well. So
Not just that,
We are
but,
gonna
I mean,
be the second wave. Oh, look at that. The node is dying. Who would have thought? Now we can't jump in. How sad is that?
And then when his politics about the whole TTC thing succeeds and that whole thing breaks up, it's going to be a double win. He's going to be sitting there in his chair, dying, laughing. It's just going to be glorious.
Caleb, it's not just that. Me and Mac and a couple others, I don't know if you were here pre-show when we were saying it, but we pretty much pre-gamed the entire situation out. He jumps in with them. Yes, he takes some losses, but PanFam and Legacy super fleets get wiped. Ours gets knocked down a peg, realistically.
a fair chunk of it, in actual fact. I
Frat
imagine
loses a bunch. Yeah, everyone loses. in
everyone
that fight.
basically loses except Norris and Winterco.
Yeah, because then he fucks off home because either they've won the war or they've lost, right? We glass test, we possibly glass PanFam. He's hiding up north rebuilding his fleet and taking over TTT. He's got it fucking sus.
Well, he's
I
been
mean,
winning this war from the beginning.
We did say, like, literally a year ago, like, that the ultimate winners in this fight, if Norris plays this correctly, is gonna be Fraternity and Winterco.
Yeah,
I mean, we talked about that at the beginning of the war.
Like, you guys can go back in the VODs or on the VODs on YouTube and check what we were saying then. Like, that was what we were saying.
At the beginning of the war,
I
we
knew
said
that
this
was
was a
what
good
I was
idea.
saying.
I'm pretty sure
Right.
I'm on record for saying that the whole Fraternity thing, they're going to be the big winner in this war and come out way
Many,
ahead
many
of everyone
times that
else.
has been
It
said
was
here.
pretty inevitable, yeah.
You are also in record saying that you believe in the economy team to fix Eve. So there's that.
He's never going to let that go.
Hey,
He's
hey,
never
you
gonna-
know,
Hey, no one's right every time, dude.
Yeah.
No one's right every time.
Okay, just in my defense, right? I also said that they're most likely not going to do it in any way that's going to feel like it's actually good or perfect. And if you go and look at the actual graph metrics, they have sort of fixed it. It's a horrible solution, but they have sort of fixed it.
So-
Caleb, I can hear Reaver screaming in the background there.
Wow.
Hey, like, that's like fixing sort of like, oh, I'm constantly getting rained on the head, and like, I fixed that for you. I've chopped your head off.
yeah.
you
yeah, pretty
say
much, yeah.
that, and it's something
Yes, does
I
cure
wanted to
cancer.
bring up. Um, did
Yeah,
you
how else would that
notice?
the prices?
Did you
Now
notice
they are,
that?
they've caught up, so Soth can no longer rub it in.
And they finally dropped
Well,
it.
hang on, give Soth a minute.
So, did you notice that when we mentioned the PCU is going down, CCP immediately came out with, "Oh yeah, but the PCU isn't that important. It's the DAU we look at." And suddenly, every player thought, "Well, if the DAU is so important to you, then I won't even log in once a day to check my skills anymore." And
No,
suddenly,
okay,
CCP stops talking about the DAU.
Can I just do my little
Oh.
rant as well about CCP and
Sure.
the DAU metric? Because
Well, fuck it.
this got me. Yeah, this got me from the day they said it. Right, we are playing an MMO, not a mobile phone game. DAU is the wrong metric. DAU is great for a mobile phone game where it doesn't matter about social interaction. It's all about who is logging in every day to press buttons on your game. For a game that's an MMO, like EVE, you need PCU, because that's an indicator of people in space actively playing and creating content.
Actively
DAU doesn't.
interacting.
Yes, actively interacting. DAU is no good of a metric for that, because all that is people logging in, checking their skill queue for 20 seconds, or redeeming their rewards for the day. The very reason they mention in the article saying, oh, well, PCU is only indicative of long play times is exactly what you need for an MMO.
Well, the problem, Bart, is that when they're talking about those metrics that they use, like DAU and things like that, that's so game design sensitive and doesn't. You can manipulate that just by adding one more click on a module, right? Then you're going to change all that, and you can incentivize with stupid login rewards to manipulate those numbers. So when they say that PCU is not as important as DAU or all the other MAU or whatever their fucking metrics are, those metrics I don't trust, because they can basically massage them to do exactly what they want them to do.
So I think we need to explain what these actually are. The PCU, it stands for peak concurrent users. So it's the highest amount of players logged in at the same time for that day. The DAU is daily active users, I believe.
Yeah, code word being active. So how do you measure active, and what activity are you measuring?
And they have told us that we are considered active if we actually get past the login screen and click on anything at all. So if you log in and claim your login reward, you count towards the DAU. If you log in right after downtime, when it's pretty calm, you don't count towards the PCU, because the PCU is only the time where EVE is the most active.
No, EVE Offline does a running count of PCU at any one time throughout the day, right? So we can take, we've got 14,000 people in space at this time. Well, I can open the launcher now and say 22,538, which is great. There's probably actual content going down somewhere in space. But to tell me the DAU is indicative of nothing. Because exactly as you just said, that could just be people logging in and clicking redeem rewards.
Well, both, yeah. Well, yeah. So kind of, we don't really truly know quite how CCP reports or CCP determines, the reporting for the concurrent user numbers, right? Like, but the fact that the daily active user requires an active component, and CCP can specify that, and that they have specified it in a way that is basically like, practically cheating. Like, let's say it what it is. Like, it's not active. Like, people don't even need to have actually gotten into the game to actually be in the active, to be a statistic on the daily active users. Right?
But it's even worse than that.
But we don't truly know what the the PCU count, or how the PCU count is derived from CCP. That's one of the kind of issues.
We do know the PCU count.
But the thing that we can use, the thing that we have that is that makes that a better way of determining like the health of the game, is that we have a long history of it.
It's even worse than that, because they are switched over to using the DAU like before the acquisition, right? They started talking about the DAU more and how it's a better way to look at things. And shortly after they started looking at the DAU instead, they put in the login rewards, the excessive login rewards. So first they switched how they look at the statistic, and then they started padding said statistics, right?
Yeah,
but I would almost say that it's fair that they do different types of metrics internally, because they have to address the whole problem of what are paying customers and how are they actually acting and interacting with the game. Like
Sure.
zombie farms don't count for anything for profitability for CCP, really, right? And the PCU is telling you how interesting the game is for players to actually engage in and log into, but it gets offset by other metrics. So if you're just logging into an AFK cloaking alt, and if you're multi-boxing but you haven't actually done anything, like there's many factors. So I do understand that from a business point of view, when they are owned by another company and have to report, they can't just use PCU. That would not make sense.
But PCU is more accurate. Everything you just made as an example there also pumps DAU numbers, right?
I'm just saying that DAU numbers and how to change those is about adding things like login rewards or daily events or anything like that. So this is where you want to look at that and see how are the players engaging with the content that is created. And that needs to have better granularity and resolution than the PCU.
No, because DAU has less granularity for them.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does, because it's anyone that makes it past the login screen.
Okay.
For
we don't,
any
first
length of time.
First off, we don't know what criteria they use to determine DAU.
They've said
No,
it
but we
before.
know that they have more variables on the DAU and criterions than there is on the PCU. So it is higher resolution and more granularity.
It can
And yet
be,
they
but if
don't-
they
it
Can be, yeah. We don't know what they actually use.
Well, if it's not, then I would be very dissatisfied as an owner of CCP. So I'm expecting them to actually have something valuable in that data set. Otherwise, it's a complete waste.
I mean, Caleb, if
you
you're
own any
looking,
of CCP?
if you're looking at CCP to get satisfied, you know,
You
might be
actually
disappointed.
you
now?
might be disappointed.
Yeah, there's a
That's
there's a
perfect.
Stone song for you on that. You don't you don't know the granularity because you don't know the sample methodology, right? So unless you knew the sample
saying
I'm
methodology,
low,
the stat doesn't matter.
Eric,
The
people are
only
saying that my
indication we
audio
have
is
from-
low.
Sorry.
Well, you're as loud as
But
everybody
they're not
else.
complaining. They're not complaining about it, Eric.
Oh,
They're just pointing it out.
Yeah.
So besides
by the way,
arguing about
everybody in from
CCP's
Discord
internal
is
metrics,
the same.
what I am excited about is that changes are coming. Like, just get the Oracle changes over with, so I can just be either happy or horribly disappointed. Let's just get it done, which is what probably some of your guys' wives said at night on your wedding night.
God's sakes,
that was uncalled for.
That's just so terrible.
Suddenly, you
I'm
just
sorry, it just
decided to
worked
be.
out.
Suddenly, you decided to be an asshole. Like, what the fuck?
Sorry,
Suddenly.
it just came out. So that's what she said again.
So the thing I will say is, realistically, internally, and to their Pearl Abyss contacts, CCP will be using multiple metrics to give a better picture. But whenever the PCU comes up from the player base, which is the only metric we have to really measure anything, they only ever use DAU or MAU as a counter argument, because that's basically the numbers that look good for them.
Well, it's also code for CCP of saying that their revenue stream does not look like it's tanking as hard yet, even though the PCU is fluctuating.
It's because
yeah,
they've been
because
promoting
that's-
multi-account play.
That's also
More and more and more.
a delayed reaction.
Especially when they do
You
3 month
gotta,
packages, right?
it's also with all the people that fund their gameplay through Plex. And by that I mean people who actually buy Plex for real life money and then sell it to fund their PvP or their PvE, right?
Yeah.
If there's less and less people logging in, then those people will have less things to interact with and less reason to fund said things.
I would say that looks like maybe an argument for why they are kind of waking up and seeing that there's an issue now, because I think it's the last 2 or 3 months you've seen a weird tanking of the actual sales orders on Plex, which tells me that there is less people actually buying new Plex from CCP and putting them on the market. Of course, I could be wrong, but that would be my suspicion of why the market is doing that. So I think their revenue of real money is suffering right now.
Oh yeah, or it's right in its downturn, right? Because people stop playing, and then the renewal comes later, right? And then they stop renewing, right? So yeah, they've got to be seeing revenue issues, and it's probably just the beginning, and they can trend it, right?
So, so the PCU will drop long before their income does, because most people buy the 3-month pack, and that will take a while to run out.
Yeah, and by the way, they should be able to run the analytics on that if they're doing it correctly, right? They know which accounts are inactive, right, and not logging in. They know when those are going to run out, those subscriptions. It's not hard to do. They should be these should be analytics reports that they are running on a monthly, if not weekly basis, and looking at the results on the finance side.
Yeah,
let me just comment on the ISK velocity, because people that keep mentioning this should know that ISK velocity in EVE is massively sensitive to two of the big things in EVE. That would be capital hold trades and Plex and RMT items. If those things tank, the velocity of ISK will look very, very low comparative to before. So the fact that the ESS have kind of fixed the ISK faucet, and that the exchange of capital holes and Plex is down, is basically why the velocity of ISK is tanking. And this is not necessarily bad for the game. This could have happened in any other scenario. It's not necessarily just indicative of an unhealthy game.
But to bring it back a bit here, they said in the dev blog that scarcity is ending in Q4 2021.
That could be anything up to the 31st of December.
Yes.
God knows it has been in the past.
Any predictions on how much they're going to fuck up the carrot?
At least one of their spring updates came out the second day of summer.
So, yeah, it's going to be ending Q2 2022, guys.
Maybe.
I mean, that's, you know what, right, McLeod, you joke, but actually, realistically, their entire plan was a slow rollback, right? Maybe that's changed, but their entire plan on their original dev blog was, when scarcity ends, we will put stuff back in piece by piece.
And
so
by the way,
this would
they
be another
should.
2 years of reversing it, right? 2 years going the opposite direction to what we've gone.
Well, I mean, if they feel that the pace of changing and that kind of stuff is enough to be able to stave off the heat death of the game, then fair enough. But I just feel kind of fairly cognizant that if they don't do something somewhat drastic sometime soon, it's just gonna get worse. People are just gonna be a little more and more, just disjointed from the game to not want to really kind of log in.
I have a question.
It's hard. It's so much. So just really quickly on, it's so much harder to get people to play the game than to get people to come back to the game than to get people keep playing the game.
So I have a question. So they're ending scarcity. They say Q4, but we all at least don't believe that completely. Do we think that they're going to just turn the rocks bigger, or are they going to finally release their change to solve on how you do rocks and stuff?
You're going to get agency in nullsec resource generation.
Well, that means nothing to me because I own 7 systems.
Wasn't there a line in the dev blog about increasing yields across the board?
We all hope that they don't do the low level, easiest kind of option and actually go the harder route of actually, putting the work in. But let's be real. You know,
They're probably
look at-
just going to turn the rocks bigger.
look at you know, just look at the you know, look at the how what they've done in the past, and just extrapolate out.
So I'm gonna raise my hand. I have a question.
Just
What time of year do they shave the sheep in Iceland?
Spring?
Is it
Oh,
spring?
I thought did they shave the sheep in Iceland? I thought they just let
Probably.
volcanoes just
But,
burn that shit away.
I'm going to answer this one, Eric. They
Yeah.
shaved the sheep right before lambing season.
So late spring.
All right. So somebody might actually be in the office to do a little work in a couple months. They're good. Right after they sure are. Right after they shag the sheep.
I was trying to go for an answer like that, but I was like, nah.
I thought
Too
you
risky.
did the shagging after the actual shaving. But anyways, that's maybe just me projecting.
Well, you want more cushion for the pushing, so you do it after.
Eric, this is a family show.
Oh shit! I forgot. Damn, I'm so sorry, people. Family show. Terrible.
First the horses, now the sheep. What's next?
We
The
didn't
whole
fully
damn
discuss
farm.
the horses, and I still don't know what the hell you're talking about. But post show maybe. I don't know.
This is not the animal farm
Hasitude's
that I
like guys, cows. They don't have cows in Iceland, right? Or
It's
many.
Dawn's fanfic version of Animal Farm.
Oh, so Finds the Lost is asking, what about the leaks? Dank leaks, damn links.
I gotta bounce. So I'll get you guys later.
Later, Surrender.
Oh, it's just when it comes to leak section, he leaves. There he goes. Running away. Run away.
It is his time.
Perhaps if we built a large badger. So, what about the leaks, gentlemen and lady?
Didn't we start
it's-
covering them?
We did not.
I don't think we did.
We didn't
no.
cover all of them. Because last week was all the AT tournament, so when it would have
Oh,
been
sorry,
more
no, we were
relevant to...
talking the Norius leaks, right?
Yeah, it would have been more relevant last week, but, Dirk spent an hour and a half talking about tournament. Glad
No,
y'all had
because we had
fun.
the Norius leak this morning.
Yeah, but we
I am
talked about that
sorry,
before the show
but-
started.
There were
If we
leaks this
get
morning?
CCP people on the show, we're gonna talk about something
I know.
they are related to, right?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, what's CCP Aurora gonna say about some poppy leaks?
I think we didn't ask her.
So
we
we'll
don't know what
never
she would've
know.
said.
We'll never know now.
Yeah.
Great reporting.
You gotta
Jess.
do-
Good job.
You gotta take advantage of your opportunities as they come. But so the
Someone
leaks
did tell
are
me that there's a speculation that it might be AT related, if we're talking about AT and Aurora, that basically Pappy is going to go all in on building an AT team, so they are sure that they can win the AT, and then they're going to sell all the blueprints to fund the war in SRP.
yeah. Well, the other tinfoil is that ESS keys are coming out, and it's magic that Goonswarm doesn't have much space to farm the ESSs of their reserve banks as they would if they had owned all their space. Magic that we don't own anything right now. Not a
You know,
coincidence at
if-
all.
If they grow a pair and attack one DQ tonight and lose, then we will have space by the time the SS keys come in, right? We'll have our space and their space.
Yeah, we have sort of reserve banks that we can dip into and extract value
Ooh.
out of. In
Let's talk
the
about-
form of dead super holes.
Yeah.
That's true. But let's talk about those
And it's
numbers that
worth
the ESS came out with. The original ESS poll was like 20 mil an hour, 40 mil an hour when they put it on CC. Because I guess CCP's idea was that the reserve bank harvesting isn't supposed to be a money making option, it's supposed to prompt fighting. But if you make no money, almost no money doing it, why the hell would you fight anybody over it? Am I the only one that read how these work?
Because it's an exciting opportunity, Dawn.
Okay. Hold on. Hold my hat. I'm going to sit there for 45 minutes to steal 230 mil.
Sorry,
I could make more.
sorry, but I stole your hat and ran away the moment you started talking.
Why did you take my hat?
Because it's a nice hat.
Okay, we'll have the hat. But I just found that ridiculous that once again, this risk versus reward thing, I could make more money, more than 233 mil, stealing 6-minute ESSs from the banks than I would with reserve banks. If I'm going to sit there for 45 minutes.
No, nobody said it should make sense.
I know, but it shouldn't. It's like, this is stupid.
Remember,
Like,
you can jump
they
at
did the
10
math.
minutes instead of 0 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the other thing that was really funny is so someone did the math on some of like the big reserve banks to empty it at the rate that the keys give you. It would take like a year. It was I know there was 100 days was quoted in one,
140 days
but
for the big one, right?
yeah, to empty it completely. But that would be
treating this-
continuous.
Seriously, anyone treating this as some sort of gold rush is going to be really disappointed. First
Yeah.
of all,
That's what they made.
seriously,
Damn
the
it, that's what they made it sound like.
ESS
That's what they
pays
said.
ESS got something in the realm of maybe 20 trillion, but it's going to take time to actually empty them. So if you look at the actual faucet effect of this, it's not really going to be such a great moneymaker. You're going to be really like Klondike disappointed because first of all,
they named it the Grand Heist.
First of all, it's not a good faucet, right? Second of all, you cannot build ships from ISK, regardless of how many times you say it. That's just not how Eve works. The whole thing about productivity and creation and destruction has nothing to do with ISK. ISK is just cash money. It's just what you use in the exchange. Even Eric can go on a big shtick about this. So the fact that they are this hyped about the ESS thing and being able to live off of ESS money, they're going to be really disappointed because the only thing that's going to change is the price of things.
No, Jude.
Yeah, Caleb,
okay,
said buy all their ships in Gina. They need the cash.
Hold on. Let's ignore all of that, right? I sat down with Spod the other day and we were talking in channel, and M2 came up and we made some random comment, me, him, and one of his court guys, about how much the ESSs for those guys would cover. We worked it out that in M2, all of these all of the frat ESSs would cover something like what they lost Titan-wise, right? Just. It would now cover 27. They can afford, with the ESSs, to lose 27 Titans. That's it.
But they labeled this patch the Grand Heist. It ain't a heist if you're walking away with pocket change. It's like going to the 7-Eleven and sticking it out for $300 and labeling that the Grand Heist. A Grand Heist, you think of stealing, hundreds of thousands or millions from a bank or a casino or something, right? Not going to the corner store and holding up an old lady.
Yeah, it's a naming thing, right? Because it would sound really bad to call it the Great Stick Up.
Okay.
the corner store.
The great purse grab, like.
Now,
Purse snatching 2022.
I say 27, right? If they manage to get every last drop from every ESS in the game, all 20 trillion, they can make 80.
Okay, I'd like mine.
Just remember that there was a lot of rage building of Supers and Titans before the changes came in. So there might actually be overstock supply of 27 Titans that someone wants to offload. But you can't sell them at the moment because no one wants to fucking buy at this price.
Chad just had a really good joke. So instead of Ocean's 11, it's Ocean's 7-Eleven. That's a good one. Good job, Chad.
Can we get Redline to do an art piece for us?
We should, because that's what it's into. And but it's still curious of all these, once again, all these coincidences of all these things coming out, and all of the stuff that Pappy has done is put them in a position to have an advantage of those specific things. Just saying.
So they,
I think
they
that- I
can
think the
pay to
most-
replace
The most offensive one
2,500 dreads.
in the whole dev blog was when they said that they have depleted the stockpiles. I have not seen this. Can someone please point me to where they have actually depleted?
Last I checked, stockpiles were
Well-
larger than ever.
Caleb, the reason why they think they've depleted stockpiles is because have you looked at the production numbers?
That's
Go
just
on,
what
have you
goes
looked
into
at
the
the
machine. That's
keys?
not the, that's by definition not the stockpiles. The
Hold on,
stockpiles are the ones that are before the industry.
Well, no. Stockpiles of ships post industry as well, right? But if you put the industry of mined and production together, yes, it's gone down, Dawn. But do you know what's gone down faster?
The
I mean, there's so
login-
many ways you
destruction.
can go with that, but go ahead.
The destruction
Your
has
mom?
gone down faster. So stockpiles have grown, not shrunk.
well, maybe the last few weeks, yeah.
No,
I mean, but that's the thing,
entire
like-
time of scarcity.
But
The
so,
thing-
like, hold on. So what they have to do now is because the numbers are going down, CCP's like, oh, we're going to end scarcity. And you know what? You know what Pappy should do? You guys should have a big battle to encourage more people to have to resub and log in. I'm just saying, I could keep going with this tinfoil here. Because why are they now being like, we need to get the people logged in to potentially do whatever this big announcement is? Just
Well,
saying.
there is one metric which is kind of interesting where you can say that stockpiles, quote unquote, have been depleted, and that's actually structures, right? If you wanted to look at how many structures have actually been destroyed universally, that's a metric that's interesting. So if CCP had the balls, they would reintroduce limited slots on industry and research, and then there would suddenly be a big lack of structures to actually have that utility. So there would have to be a lot of new structures built, and there would basically be a new race to actually get the infrastructure up and running. So in that sense, there is a lack of actual slots with that metric. But again,
I wouldn't
don't think
I wouldn't call those stockpiles though. Like,
well, no. They're not stockpiles, but that's assets that came from stockpiles. That if you had to get back on parity, because the funny fact is that when everyone was crying, "Oh, we have too many structures everywhere," well, facility-wise, they were really just reaching parity with old POS stuff, and now we've tanked down to, I'd say, 25% of parity. So if they put back utility on structures and actually fix some of those mistakes that they made, then you would see a completely new Eve.
yeah, I'm unsure as to whether they will do that because that sounds like work.
Well, I don't think you can classify it as work, but it's definitely okay. First of all, they forgot to actually change how structure cost work, right? The fact that what is it? One keep star is now cheaper than Titans, right?
That's because of the items used in the construction.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, because you need PI
because it was-
for the Titan, the
it was the
PI
other
costs
way
are going to
around.
go up.
It was 3 to 5 times the cost for a Keepstar compared to a Titan before all these changes. So the fact that they didn't fix how you build structures and the cost of structures is something that I'm a little bit disappointed in, and I think they need to fix that, because a thing like a Keepstar should be proportionally a lot more expensive than a Titan.
But the
Oh, for
Keepstar
sure.
price is going to go up, right? Because it's PI and you need PI for capitals now. So if they're dipping into the same material costs, if one's going up,
Well,
the other's
not
going to get
just-
affected.
It's not just PI that's required. I don't think that's the thing that's ramping up the cost, like of Titans, like to a ridiculous extent. Like, I think there's, it's the whole kind of additional shit that they added to it. Like, and it's yeah, maybe some of it might be, PI, but there's a lot of it that's also the compressed gas that's required for it, or the gas that's required, to build capitals now. Like, and the fact that like it's so fucking scarce. Like, that's the thing that's like ramping up the cost. Like, if there was a proportionate amount of PI like involved in a Titan, relative to the size and scale, of a Keepstar, then it would be proportionately priced. but it's the additional other shit as well that's added to it. That's added to Titans that have inflated it ridiculously, or just capitals in general. As far as I'm concerned, anyway.
Well, I just look forward to the new gas bonuses. So hopefully that they will make Killer and I Can Dream that they'll make the T2 Noctis that is a gas bonus ship or something like it.
I think it would be cool to make the Noctis a bit like a gas platform. I think that would actually be cool.
I think it should be a specialized version of the Noctis, so that way.
Well, yeah, screw the Noctis. Make it the Prime. Because the Prime doesn't even do fucking PI anymore. It's that small.
Yeah.
But that, for gas, with compression built in, would be perfect.
Now, if it has compression, is it going to get sieged up in some place for a
No.
couple of minutes? Oh, that doesn't make
Need to
any
see.
sense. You have to use fuel to break things down, apparently, in this game. So, how are you going to use fuel if you don't have some kind of module that makes you use fuel? Is it going to be like a new compression module? Bah, bah, bah. That you can add to the Orca? Yes! This would be even better. You can make a compression module you can add to your ships.
Absolutely, that's what we need. One more module in this game.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I have said it for a while. Though.
Yeah.
That'd probably be
It'd be
the
amazing.
option, and then nerf
Could you-
the fuck out of Orca and Port mining.
Can you imagine putting that on an Orca in a high sec and just like, I guess I don't have to leave ever. To be even better.
Interesting situation.
Okay, now what was the other? So the first leaks were a lot of corporation. I don't know what I'm blanking here. All of the leaks have muddled together in the past weeks. But basically, Sinner's leaks exposed how their high command functions exactly how we thought it did, even though they kept saying, oh, we're all unified. We get along just fine. We're not fighting. And they're fighting and bitching at each other like crazy.
Well, it's not exactly high command that was bitching. It was basically the B tier FCs in their own little channel, bitching about how the war is going nowhere and nothing is really happening. And then high command coming in and bitch slapping them out of NC.
Well, let's also premise this with as well, so with the fact that like high command and their higher level FC team are one and the same, whereas like for example in Imperium, it's slightly different.
Yeah, but would you say that someone like Redline, for example, is high command?
I mean, no, I wouldn't, but I'd say he's. I mean, I don't know whether he's an FC. I imagine he probably is.
Well, his statements recently are more quality based than most of actual high command, right?
What I'm saying is like their high command being, their high level FCs, are in a situation where, egos are clashing and people and they're getting frustrated and angered at their egos being bruised rather than actually taking stock as to what the fuck's going on. And, the whole removal is a testament to that. Like it's just a classic example of paving over the problems that they have because it's a bruising of egos rather than actually taking stock of what the issue is and resolving it. It's a classic case of when ego gets in the way of everything else. And that's what happens when you have a leadership team that is comprised pretty much of FCs rather than of, people who are like non-militaristic leaders. Like, when I say non-militaristic leaders, I don't mean like leaders who lead via committee. I mean leaders who lead, not from the battlefield, but can still lead as a strong singular vision. And the Mittani is in a great example of that. Like he is not a military tactician. He's not an FC, but he is a strong singular vision kind of leader.
Not just that, but this is one that goes back to something said earlier today somewhere else. They're willing to get involved as well, right? PGL, Villy, Gobbins, they'll probably be the last to jump in if this goes down. What did Arif do in M2? He renamed his fucking, what was it, Komodo or something like that, to Flagship, and was one of the first in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because Villy's excuse for M2 not bringing his Komodo in was that he didn't think the fight was going to escalate that big, and then at that point he'd already jumped in his avatar. It's like, what? We brought a Vanquisher. What the hell? Some bull. But then,
Noctis fleet.
yeah, we had an Octus fleet, by the way. After our fun little scamper into T5Z, which maybe not everybody knows this, but most of the Imperium knows this. So during the fleets in T5Z on Sunday night, I think it was, when they were doing all the reffing of everything, like after Pappy disappeared, someone we were reported that someone asked one of the Pappy FCs, what do you want us to do? And he's like, what can we do? And then logged out. And then watched us finish reffing as much as we wanted with no resistance. Apparently, that might have been the tipping point as well, because they can't. We literally ran amok in their stager. They could have thrown capitals around like crazy. They could have warped dreads around and kept it jammed. We didn't even go for the jammers, did we? Were those reffed at all?
I wouldn't be surprised if the FC kind of went like, I'm not actually going to put you through that kind of like, that sort of thing. The fact that the T5Z CubeStar just is, is the gift that keeps on giving, is probably the main focal point of what you guys were doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they literally ran out of Ferrexes on contract, and they couldn't keep reshipping to do anything. And we haven't heard any reports if their SRP's gotten any better. You just go home. Give up and go home, guys. Let us come in and just roll over and take it, because that's what you're going to have to do in 2 months minimum anyways. So, let's just get this over with. Pappy's clearly on a death rattle. I hope potentially today is going to be their final burst of energy before they succumb. Anyone want to counter that or prove me wrong?
Well, I was going to say,
Sorry,
apparently, I was that's a bit harsh, Bob. I was just going to say that in chat, it was said that you guys did actually blow up a jammer and before you guys left. So,
oh, okay.
A jammer got ref last night.
Nice.
There's 9 hours left on it as of now. It's the EV one, so
Can't be. No, that was
good luck using that route in Sappy. T5 it is.
They can just go to DW to go to 8 Tech Y, right?
Also, I find it funny that this, especially this week, that when Pappy keep on kind of proclaiming that that 1DQ is sort of cornered or sectioned off from the rest of Eve, that it just casualed into 1DQ with like 100 and 180, 200 fucking capitals, like this week. That was kind of funny.
I mean, it's been just a comedy of errors for Pappy for the past like 4 months now, or 3 months, almost 4, because it was April when they started this whole we're taking 1DQ, and now it's the end of July. By the way, this year has gone by really fast for those who haven't thought of it, because I can't believe it's July already.
It's almost it's halfway through, almost the end of July. 3/4 of the way through.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're already planning our Christmas decorations here at Casa de Asma.
But you are the exception to the rule there. You guys plan super fucking early with your Christmas decorations. It's ridiculous.
I don't do Christmas till Halloween's over, because Thanksgiving isn't a holiday not worth my attention.
Oh no, we're big.
Good food and
We
that's it.
celebrate Thanksgiving, but it's pretty much
Yeah.
the day after is the dawning of the Christmas decorations. Like push the button. Actually, you say, "Hey Google, turn on my Christmas decorations." But yeah.
Oh my god, Thanksgiving. I've made one turkey myself, and it came out great because I brined it for 24 hours.
Nice.
Yeah, so I had a styrofoam cooler in my fridge with this whole turkey in it,
Mhm.
with brine solution, salt water, but it also had like peppercorns, rosemary, and orange peels in it to help give it a little flavor.
Mhm.
And then I baked it in the plastic bag upside down. I did like everything to try and make sure it was tender. And oh my god, it is better than any deep fried turkey I've ever had. Deep fried turkey's
Why
okay.
the fuck would you deep fry turkey?
That's what a lot of people like to do.
It's great.
I would
Jesus Christ,
expect
peak American culture.
You do not bread it. You do not anything. You just drop the freaking turkey in a bunch of It's so good.
that sounds super dry though.
It's not.
It surprisingly isn't, but like the brining it is the best method, and I will fight anybody on that any day. It is so good.
I actually go with the Gordon Ramsay method of actually shoving like a fuck ton of butter under the skin and seasonings. Yeah, and then you leave it sit for as long as it cooks.
Yeah.
Trust me, Gordon Ramsay is a freaking genius.
I like this one in chat.
What?
Deep fried turkey, my arteries just went on strike hearing that.
Like, I mean, I've deep fried chicken before, right? And it takes like a good 20 minutes to deep fry, like
the
a
turkey
chicken.
you leave in
Like
for
a
long.
fucking turkey, you must leave in there for like fucking hours.
No.
It's only like an hour, but yeah.
Yeah,
Deep frying turkey doesn't take long. Defrosting the turkey takes a long time.
That sounds like pulling it out. It's just going to have like, just pulled out something black.
No, it's
it's
beautiful.
Don't
It's
even comment
golden.
on that, Mac.
It's
is
beautiful.
golden and
It's
pretty.
golden, and you do not put anything on the skin. It's just in. There's no breading. Like
Just toss it
chicken.
in.
All right.
The skin gets crispy and delicious. I will say, I do like that part about fried turkeys. The skin is crispy.
And then you just leave it somewhere
But
to drain for like fucking it forever.
That was one of the first years that I was in my house, my current house for Thanksgiving. So I was actually evicting somebody at the time. They were supposed to leave the Sunday after Thanksgiving, but I didn't want them to steal anything in the house. So that's why I made my own Thanksgiving dinner with my other roommate and a friend. And I was very proud. I made my own stuffing. I made my own gravy. I made my own mashed potatoes. I made the turkey myself. I was like, this is a lot of work. It came out great, but it was a lot of work.
And Moradin, yes, fish and chips, an actual decent thing when fried. Right.
We've had so much fish and chips over here in Alaska. And for some reason, fish that is in Alaska is more expensive here than it is at home. I don't know how that's possible, but
Yeah, I don't know
Whatever.
either. That seems kind of odd to me.
yeah, halibut is like $26, and I'm like, the hell, I could get this for like 12 at home. What the hell? You literally go out to the bay and catch it. And my dad's like,
then
well,
why
we
aren't
could
you
make,
doing that?
because I don't have a fishing pole.
Mm.
My dad looked at me and said, well, considering they could make a lot more money selling on the market than selling it here, you're still just going to pay market prices because you don't have a choice. I'm like, that makes sense. The king crab legs here are expensive as hell, too.
That's crazy too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like,
It's stupid.
but the the other good deep fried thing is soft shell Maryland crab, guys. It's just wonderful.
I've never had soft shell crab. You eat the
Oh,
shell.
soft shell. Oh, yeah, because it's not hardened yet, right? Just post molt. It's cleaned, right? They clean all the stuff out of it, but yeah.
What
Soft
about
shell
deep fried banana
Mars bars, yeah. Excellent. Bananas, no.
with
Fried
honey?
banana?
No.
No. Oh, there's certain flavors I don't like fried.
Tell you what, if Scotland ever figured out how to deep fry whiskey, they're
Haggis.
fucked.
Deep fried whiskey?
Scotch-
That's good.
Scotch eggs are good.
Deep fried whiskey. Explain to me how you would be able to do that, Eric.
Well, you
guys-
start with some good, cornmeal, and you put some whiskey in it, and you deep fry it. It's great. I don't know. I'm just
But
making
that's-
that
that's-
shit
that's-
up.
Didn't the
Completely
Americans actually
making that
start
shit
doing
up.
the whole? Well, Americans, I've seen deep fried butter. I don't understand how that even works, but I have seen that they deep fry
Deep
butter.
freeze it.
There is a movie called Butter, which is pretty good too.
You freeze the butter, and then when you put it in the fryer, it doesn't have time to melt in the heat.
Yeah.
It just defrosts. That's how they do the deep fried Twinkies. Is they freeze the Twinkies.
McLeod, I've had a crazy idea, and I wouldn't be surprised if they've done this. Frying using the whiskey.
That's not possible.
That would be
Using
sauteing
whiskey.
or
It won't
boiling.
get hot
That'll
enough.
work.
but-
No,
It won't get hot enough, but they can try.
Unless
Well,
you
so-
put
Add
it
it to
under
it.
pressure.
Yeah.
I have a
That's
Ninja
the bad
pressure
point.
cooker.
Are you
That-
gonna
that-
throw whiskey in
that
the
sounds
pressure cooker?
dangerous.
It does sound
No, not dangerous.
no.
Not dangerous at all. By
I
the way,
need to use my pressure cooker.
we have done an upgrade to the show, so everybody knows there will be check Discord PM. Okay, we've done an upgrade to the show. Deep fried Jack Daniels, you can deep fry whiskey according to
Holy fuck.
Commander Cotton Fluff. Absolutely.
This is one of those things where you're just believing what somebody said on the internet thing, isn't it?
Jack and
What are
Coke.
we upgrading? How are we upgrading the
Deep
show?
fried whiskey is an
I
actual
think-
thing. See that?
I think
You
Eric is
can
now,
actually unscramble eggs.
No.
Eric is considering
No, you
going
can.
backwards and renaming.
I'm saying
the
it,
show
and I'm on the.
the deep
saying it,
fried
and I'm on the
whiskey
internet, so-
show, right?
It's true. I'm gonna post this in a minute here.
So, Eric, should we go back and rename the show the Deep Fried Whiskey?
No. We're not gonna
I
call
like
it-
push to talk. I'm actually using push to talk.
Whiskey
on Push to
Gaming.
Talk.
It was the Whiskey Gaming Show, and it ever shall always be that.
That's right, and that's where we got the
because it had-
wonderful drink from McLeod
That almost
that pretty much had Eric drunk from 3:00 in the afternoon through 8:00 at night, and he couldn't drive to or from dinner with his parents and wife.
Oh, that was so funny.
Matt,
Like,
did you
no,
get-
this is
did you get your,
this is a strong thing, dude. Like, don't drink too much of it, and you're like, yeah, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah. By the way, McLeod, why did you call it this drink? Because this drink is something else. Because when you drink enough of it, you're just blind drunk. I'm like, no shit.
Woo!
It was basically a concoction that sort of found out when I was in college, and obviously because you're in college, you want to get drunk, and you don't exactly you might not exactly have that much of a budget to be able to spend to get yourself drunk. So you find the most efficient way of doing it, and this was the most efficient way to get drunk.
It certainly was. Oh, it's a video on how to do it, so I can't read on how to make deep fried. Yeah, it was. Oh, I was. It felt good. It was a good drink. I went to sleep early that night. But yeah, I felt
based
no
off of
pain,
Orban
no
rules.
pain, no pain. Unscrambling eggs, yeah, no. Although
I
I
don't think you
did
can do that.
on vacation, I found a great breakfast place. You know how a lot of places when you make omelets, this is the food section of the show. When you make omelets, they put the stuff in the egg, like they cook it with the egg, like the onions or the bacon or whatever you put in there, right? And I posted it, Commander Cotton. What this place does is they make the omelet, then they put the cheese in it, and then they put the stuff between it. So technically, if you could hold it up, but the eggs have no, you can't hold the eggs like.
You
a
mean
taco,
it would be like a taco?
Yeah, but it's got like it. So I would order like the ham, sausage, and bacon because I have it's the meat bacon. It's the meat omelet, right? It would have like an inch of stuff inside it as it was folded over. You could not eat it. A 3-egg omelet you could not eat in one sitting. You had to take it home for lunch. It was excellent.
Speaking of eggs, I've been thinking
Excellent.
about getting a chicken coop.
A chicken coop?
Yeah.
My
I have a large
sisters-in-laws have that had that for a while. Sometimes your chickens are mean, but the eggs
well, if
were
you get
excellent.
silky, so if you get silky chickens, those chickens are usually very sweet and gentle. But and they're decent. They can be decent egg layers, but they're small eggs. I don't eat a ton of eggs per se, so it's kind of like I don't really care about the chickens producing eggs. I just kind of want some chickens. I really want ducks, but they are a mess.
Omelets made with duck
So-
eggs. That is like the top
Just going
notch.
to tell you this right.
And
Just going to tell you this right now. Just going to tell you this right now, Dawn. Ducks are assholes.
I love ducks, but yes, I understand. See, I've been thinking about it, but we're also like thinking about, selling my house and then moving and getting a new house. And it's like, well, I don't want to put down a chicken coop or anything until I, pick somewhere else to live if I'm going to move. My house has tripled. My house has tripled in value since I bought it, so like it's time to sell.
Well,
That is
has it
understandable.
really tripled in value if
Yes.
all other houses have gone up and cost the same amount?
Yeah, that you're running into the logical fallacy there.
No, because I am
Yeah, you
patient.
are.
No. So if I sell it
Houses
now,
in
and then
Djibouti haven't.
I don't mind waiting to buy another house until prices have dropped. So I'm
Will
fine with that.
prices
Price of
drop?
your house has dropped.
They're already starting to go down because people can't afford the houses.
I have
How are they going to afford your house then?
Well, because I'm trying to sell during the boom.
That makes no sense.
We've mapped it out here.
We've
If I have
got
to make
we've got houses
You definitely
that
don't want to
sit
sell
on the
during the
market
bust.
for days and minutes
wanna-
and hours.
all the
You want
houses
to buy
around us,
during the bust.
all of the houses in my city, as long as they're like livable or investable, they sell usually within hours of going on the market. It is that competitive over here that I have people calling me to try to buy my house and it's not even on the market. Like they just like sniffed out that because Google and Apple are listening to everything you say. Just even starting
it's
to
not
look at
true.
houses online, they call you and are like, "Hey, are you ready to sell your house?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" No, and I get like 3 or 4 calls a day of people wanting to buy my house. So it's very competitive over here. It's because building a house here is like 4 times the cost of just buying a house.
Yeah, that's the lumber issue. Although lumber on the not the retail side, but the wholesale side has dropped like 40% in the last couple weeks, so that's good.
Now the other alternate option.
Just
What?
use brick and mortar, you goddamn heathens.
Yeah, but we still need wood for the frame, so it doesn't matter about
Yeah.
brick and mortar.
What?
Yeah, you have to frame it with wood. That's
Mhm.
What?
required. Have a great
Why?
day.
What the fuck?
Why?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so,
why?
So your foundation,
Because I have tornadoes.
yeah, your foundation is cinder block or
I'm sorry.
poured
I'm sorry,
concrete.
Don, but we have more
You ain't got
tornadoes in Germany than anywhere else in Europe. Germany
so you
is tornado central of Europe, right? And houses aren't getting destroyed by tornadoes here. You know why?
Because they're built of brick.
Because they're built of brick. Do you know what we use for the foundation? Steel.
use a
Reinforced-
steel
not just-
foundations for below ground.
Yes.
Is it fully like steel or just reinforced concrete?
Reinforced concrete.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we can either do reinforced concrete or you can do cinder block with a reinforced concrete base. But that's your sub part of the house.
Your
So
footing.
anything
So
above,
where do you need wood?
you need it above the house, above the
So
dirt
you-
line.
So you do wood framing, and then you build on top of that the siding and everything like that. Which you can do brick siding, but you're not going
It
to be.
just
Yeah, but
honestly,
that's
honestly,
literally
that
what
just sounds like house insurance companies have basically gotten in league with like builders to basically say you realize, guys, that if you actually just build houses out of like timber, you'll always have jobs because there'll always be fucking
tornadoes
coming in and removing it. Whereas if you build a house out of brick, that's like a whole bunch of additional work that you're losing out on.
That
Yeah.
reminds me of a scene from the floodings in Germany where a house got flooded away. And I mean the entire house. Because it was built so well that the house stayed together and was just flooded away as a whole.
Yeah, but I don't see you paying to pick the house back up and move it back where it's supposed to go. So
Sure, but you guys
Same end
wouldn't
result.
either.
Yeah, well, the thing is,
yeah, but I would
the,
just build a house.
the fact that you
We
could
just build a
potentially
new
do
house.
that though, it makes it funny that in actual fact you probably could. Like I've seen, mega moves kind of programs where they move people's entire homes, and that kind of thing. If a house in Germany that got flooded away literally stayed entirely intact until it came, from where it was until it came to rest, then yeah, chances are you could probably find a large haul, a moving company to be able to literally take that house and put it back where it was.
I just want to point out we have houses here that are older than your country.
Yeah.
We don't care.
It's
Built
fine.
with bricks.
We have houses built
fine.
with bricks too.
I'm just saying that I'm just saying that the fact that it is the normal thing to build houses out of wood over there does not mean that it is somehow superior. I'm just saying that you may be getting swindled by
Yeah.
a
Did
kind
you
of
ever think the corollary to that, right, is maybe because you don't build houses with wood, it doesn't mean they're not superior?
if you have to
Fucking hell.
constantly rebuild your
Fucking
house,
hell has
then
it
clearly your house is inferior.
Who's rebuilding houses?
Well, it's seemingly you guys every single time a tornado touches it.
been.
In America's defense, right? You have seen the size of their tornadoes, right?
Sure.
I mean,
Have you also seen the
tornadoes.
photos of tornadoes crashing through neighborhoods that have a mix of wood and brick houses, and wood houses being gone and brick houses still standing?
What do you build your roofs out of? I mean, is it like, brick trusses? What are your trusses in your
Some
roof?
do other stuff.
Oh, that's wood.
Okay, if a tornado comes through and your roof is gone, it really doesn't matter.
Well, then your roof is gone, but the rest
Yes.
of the house is still standing.
All your shit's gone too, and it's covered in rain and all that shit.
Not necessarily, depending on what your floors are made of,
Trust me.
because the roof is above your top ceiling, and your top ceiling sometimes isn't just wood.
I got you, but doesn't really matter. I mean, the Midwest uses wood mainly because they are based out of. It's just what the resources are available, right? It's a large country.
Sure.
There aren't a lot of
It
brick
just
in
strikes me
them.
as
There's
reasonable.
not a
Available,
farmhouses traditionally in the tornado zone are not made out of bricks, right?
But didn't we already establish that wood isn't available right now?
Wood's available. You can
You-
get it. It's just
you're in a-
expensive.
You're in a first world country. They don't build planes out of what's nearby. Like, you can get
Yeah.
shit brought across the country. Jesus fucking Christ.
but those houses are sometimes over 100 years old that you're talking about. I mean, they were.
Ooh.
I mean, they were out
I mean,
there
you-
when the prairie
Over
was
60
settled.
years ago.
Yeah,
McLeod, you need to rephrase that one. You
Yeah.
guys are partially a first world country.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
In some metrics, you are a first world country.
there you go. But yeah, I mean, everybody has wood studs on the inside, even if they're brick or stone or whatever. The inner walls, the inner structure of the walls are all wood here.
Yeah, our inner walls are often brick walls too.
Yeah, see, you won't
Wait.
see that in a suburban type of setting. In an urban setting, you will see that more often.
See,
Yeah.
Brusoft just wants to be different, so let him be different. Germany is clearly superior. Have a great day.
This will keep
I
star.
mean,
That's
you mean
right.
the entirety of Europe, Dawn.
Whatevs.
And we have a larger population than the US.
No, you all are separate countries. I don't want to hear it. You can't
Yeah.
add all y'all's together. You either
Yeah, but you
are
do when
one
you
country or not.
It's the same thing you did.
We are one country.
Are
Are
you?
you though? Really?
Yeah.
Are you really though?
Yeah,
When you have states
it's in
wanting
the
to
name.
secede.
just because they want to doesn't mean they can.
Okay,
Listen,
so you're
just
just holding them.
Yeah.
We had the
just
whole
putting
South
the-
wanted to
holding them
secede once,
prisoner.
right?
Why do you think Puerto Rico hasn't become a country yet? Or
Because they
a state
keep
yet?
because they
Even
keep voting
Puerto
not to
Rico.
become a.
Don't even get into Puerto Rico, because that is a whole
Because-
kettle of fish you do not want to go into.
Because
Well, if you
the
started
thing is,
looking
if
at,
you-
at the actual way that the unions work, I'm almost inclined to say the European Union is more coherent and connected than
Yeah.
America. Just saying.
But the problem is like you guys still have all of your own separate governments where the states
That's
have
just like states.
one.
Just states do too.
So,
It is
I
different.
don't-
could you
Anyway.
address, could you address Vertigo's comment?
We stumbled into a really, really awkward area
Vertigo's
today.
current.
You just don't want to talk about the EU, Mac, because
Yeah.
you fucked off.
Hey,
No, I'm just saying, like, it doesn't generally tend to go too well when you talk real life politics in a Twitch chat. That's all.
Well,
Yeah.
let's plan for after the announcement thing, right?
Hey,
Okay.
all I'm gonna
'Cause we got, like,
say
10 minutes, right?
is Casa de Asmach. If we lose power here in the future, we'll be back on in about 5 minutes because we just installed the whole house generator. yesterday.
Nice.
Oh, very nice.
To answer that question, give me that in freedom units, and I might be able to answer it.
a 1.6 kilometer tornado going at 370 kilometers an hour, roughly.
Okay. I mean,
Get that.
we often
We'll
have
see your brick handle that, bitch.
we often have regular storms up to 250 kilometers an hour. That's not a tornado. That's just a
It's like a
regular storm
hurricane.
front, right? Well, yeah, it's a hurricane, and we have that fairly often here on the coast. And I've never seen a house like being damaged at all. Of course,
Oh,
if
well,
like a
hold on,
tree
hold on,
falls
hold on, hold
into
on.
it.
I don't believe you.
Sothersill. It would be 402 kilometers per hour.
Yeah.
That's good. That's getting faster and faster now.
No, that's what a
You do the
250 mile an hour winds are.
Yeah.
right?
I just
He's
matched
talking about
my head really
kilometers.
quick.
Yeah,
but Soth was talking about kilometers now.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, they
the
did that.
tornadoes here, like they said, 250 miles an hour winds, mile wide. That would be a mile wide going through Germany at 402 kilometers per hour. You guys got that?
It's insane.
Okay.
So we have the Pappy announcement in 40 minutes, right? And if
Yeah.
It
it's
seems like
juicy,
that.
and if it's juicy, do we want to do a reaction stream, or if it's not juicy, not do anything? What do we want to plan here? Since there's no
I think,
meta
I think if it's genuinely juicy, like, then we'll be busy in fleets. Hopefully,
I won't be. I got nothing to do today. I'm gonna go look at a
Oh.
video about an earthquake. Other than that, I'm just hanging out at the hotel.
I support the React stream idea. Basically, just get Eric to turn the thing on and off again.
Yeah. We can do that.
If it's good, we'll see.
It
And
won't be
maybe
good.
they'll-
It's just to make sure that it's a separate VOD so people can ignore
Yeah.
it.
Exactly. And then we can and then if there are fleets and they're gonna jump their supers in today, that would be even better. I
Mhm.
definitely got that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
one can only hope.
I think what they might try to do is to just kill that Ford off of the iHubs in 1DQ and just like throw bodies at it till it dies.
I
'Cause
would say
it will.
I would say at this particular point in time that Norris probably wouldn't be. Yeah, it'd be a bit too late for Norris at this particular point in time to be leading a fleet. So probably not today.
Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So final thoughts or
My final thought is like, who is going to be leading the T3C fleet? From
oh, that's
Pappy?
true. It's not Pittsburgh.
Nope.
By the way, on the topic of tornadoes, the fastest tornado was in Bridge Creek, Oklahoma in 1999, 135 meters per second, which was 302 mph.
I looked it up. Germany has seen tornadoes on the Fujita. How is it pronounced? Fujita scale up to F4, which
France
is
had an F5 in 67.
so we never had an F5. That's not. We did have F4s, which go up to 260 miles per hour. So there you go.
Yeah. How'd the houses survive there? Let's see some pictures. Let's see some pictures of those intact houses.
If I remember correctly, there were a few hit directly. Those lost their roofs, definitely. Those not hit like directly were fine.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
you would
much
think
what I'm
that.
seeing for the F5 in France as well.
Yeah, when we were in
I'm
Hilton Head,
still-
we
I'm
had
still gonna go
81
back.
mile an hour gusts. We only lost power for 4 hours, and that was about it.
I'm still going to support the Americans because when it comes to extreme events, they seem to always lead, and I don't think European houses would actually survive some of the shit that Americans actually have to live through.
I mean, it's
and yet we keep building
it's
there 'cause it's like,
geographics, right? They
Because
have
capitalism.
they have higher mountains.
Wow, Mac.
What? It's true.
We have higher mountains than Europe?
Yeah.
Really?
we
I didn't
have
think
a
the
longer-
Rockies. I thought, like the Matterhorn stuff was those things.
Our ranges are much longer too, so they can funnel air for longer distances as well. Since we have the Appalachians
Mm.
and the Rock, it creates that valley, the Tornado Alley area, where the air can't escape either side. In Europe, they only have the Alps and lower hills, so that's why Germany gets it, because the air is funneling down from the northern sea area down across, and it hits the mountains, and it can't get over them, so it has to keep going along them. That's why that area will get more tornadoes.
Mm.
Well, there's also mountains in Scandinavia, and there's also, I think, the Carpathian.
Yeah.
There,
Yeah.
So
I like
but they're
Gunship
up
Dreams.
there. There's ocean or water in between.
reference
But
to Dolly Parton.
You have a lot of flat land here, right? That
Mhm.
then suddenly hits mountains,
Yeah.
which you also have in parts of America.
In most of America.
Well, yeah, you could say that, yeah.
By the way, Denali is huge. Huge.
So hey, what are we gonna do? We're gonna take a break for a little bit here and then come back.
Yeah, because I got to eat.
Yeah. What time we want to come back?
Well, the things at 1930, usually their town halls take, 15 to 20 minutes? I bet you they'll be done by noon. East Coast time? Or, no, not East. Not noon. It'll be noon for me.
It's 3:00 East Coast time.
It's only 11 here, so. Say in an
So
hour,
there-
probably. They should be ready to go.
Just should we take a half an hour break and come back in 1930?
Well, that's when their stream's starting. We got to watch it.
Oh yeah.
What do you want to do I don't think we should do a live reaction.
No. What do you want to do? So let's come back at 2000.
I think that's reasonable.
All right.
Let's if the ums and ahs get through.
Yeah, unless it's a
Mm.
complete dud.
I mean,
if the whole thing's a dud.
to be honest, I shouldn't really talk. Like, I'm terrible at verbal crutches. So
Caleb, Aria's got a question for you.
He's coming in late and asked me to go back and recap the whole thing that I just mentioned earlier. It's like, I'm pretty sure that's a troll. Otherwise, I will just redirect him to my better half. She can explain it to him.
She won't come on video. She won't come on the
you.
show. She'll come on
She'll
Meta
just
Show,
say
but
it-
she won't come on this show. Geez, Caleb. I mean,
She doesn't go on any shows.
she went on
She
Meta
does
Show.
not- She does not.
Mhm,
Well, that was
mhm,
because she was
mhm,
strong armed
mhm.
into it.
What do you say? What do you say? Look at that. Ariana says she needs to come on. So I don't know. All right. So let's break for a little bit, and we will be back in about an hour, folks. For those who would like to listen, I'll ping it out in about an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. We're not gonna do one last thing. We'll do it later.
Bye. Okay.
All right. Let's see. I'll just click the end button.
There we go.